Remember, as Martin Luther King says, an injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. We will read 3 stories this afternoon of men who are currently imprisoned, 2 in Guatanamo and 1 in Bagram Air Base in Afghanistan. And in between those stories, we'll ring a bell.
World to save us from torture. Where is the world to save us from the fire and sadness? Where is the world to save the hunger strikers? That's a poem from Guantanamo. For a $5,000 bounty, he spent the first 3 years at the Guantanamo Detention Center in total isolation, enduring physical and mental torture. During this period, Adnan Latif was interrogated hundreds of times and held without charge or hearing before a judge. Only in 2004, the United States conducted a status hearing, and attorney Mark Falkoff was finally able to take on his case. As Falkoff writes in the journal of his meetings with Adnan Latif, "When I first saw the United States accusations, I thought they looked serious, but that when I looked at the government's evidence, I was amazed. There was nothing there." To this day, Adnan Latif remains in United States custody, despite the determination of the Department of Defense in 2004 that Latif, quote, "is not known to have participated in combatant terrorist training," end quote, and a 2007 determination that Latif should be transferred away from Guantanamo Bay, quote, "subject to the process for making appropriate diplomatic arrangements for his departure," end quote. And just recently, in July of 2010, Judge Henry Kennedy Jr. granted the habeas corpus petition for Adnan Latif, now 34, and instructed the Obama administration to take all necessary and appropriate diplomatic steps to facilitate Latif's release forthwith. For many years now, Adnan Latif has lived in suicidal despair and is held in the psych ward. According to his lawyer, he sees death as the only way out. Adnan Latif once referred to himself as a caged bird. In 2007, Adnan Latif participated in a hunger strike, which lasted for over 6 months. As a result, Mark Falkoff explains, quote, "Twice a day, the guards immobilized Latif's head, strapped his arms and legs to a special restraint chair, and force-feed him a liquid nutrient by inserting a tube up his nose and into his stomach, a clear violation of international standards. The feeding," Latif says, "is like having a dagger shoved down your throat," end quote. In 2008, Latif Adnan lost a federal court case for his plea to get a blanket and mattress in his cell. In his decision, Chief Judge Thomas F. Hogan reasons, "While the Supreme Court's decision in Boumediene gives Latif the right to challenge the fact of his confinement, it says nothing of his right to challenge the conditions of his confinement, end quote. With this evidence, the physical and psychological torture perpetrated at Guantanamo is systematically and legally upheld.